Tonight on CTV News, a mother of 6 killed.
She was really scared, and she just didn't know what else she could do.
Merritt in mourning, a 45-year-old woman killed, her husband charged with murder. How the community is rallying around her children. And 2 Surrey residents charged with luring and exploiting children. Police believe there may be more victims out there. And
finally, it snowed enough and we can start the season on Grouse Mountain.
Heading to the hills, the wait is over for skiers and snowboarders, with Grouse Mountain being the first to open for business.
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The town of Merritt is reeling tonight, coming to grips with the shocking death of a mother of 6. The 45-year-old woman was killed earlier this week. Her husband is now charged with her murder. A close friend tells CTV that Pamela Jarvis feared for her life in the days leading up to her death. CTV's Brianne Foley has more on the troubling timeline and how Jarvis was desperate for help.
Pamela Jarvis, a devoted mother of 6, was killed in this Merritt home Tuesday. She was 45. Her husband, 49-year-old Christopher Jarvis, has now been charged with second-degree murder. Her friend, Dana Egan, says a week before Jarvis was killed, she was scared for her life after calling the police on her husband December 10th.
She said, "He's going to kill me, Dana." She told me, and she's kind of bizarrely laughing about, she says, police were called up there last Wednesday was because, you know, he had broken down the doors in the house so badly that the frames actually came off their hinges.
Egan says that Jarvis went on to tell her that police returned her husband to the house 5 hours after he destroyed the inside. According to Egan, Jarvis had been looking to get a separation, but her lawyer wasn't in Merritt full time.
And I told her that she could come and stay at my house just so that she could get some caught up in her sleep. And she didn't do that.
Jarvis leaves behind 6 children ranging from age 14 to 27. The community is rallying around the children, raising money with a GoFundMe page, as well as donation spots in a number of restaurants.
I just want to thank the community for outpouring of love and support for these kids. In our donation jar at the pub alone, we've already raised over $5,000 in 2 days.
Described as a thoughtful, loving, and caring person, Egan wants to make sure Jarvis's children are taken care of.
They're shattered. You know, now they've not only they've lost their mother, but now they've lost their father too.
CTV reached out to Merritt RCMP, but did not hear back by deadline. Brianne Foley, CTV News, Vancouver.
Now to a disturbing case of child exploitation in Surrey. A man and woman have been arrested and charged with multiple child sex crimes. And as CTV's Martin McMahon reports, police believe there may be more victims.
As they try to figure out if there are other potential alleged victims or witnesses, Surrey police have released pictures of the 2 accused. They are 28-year-old Carter Cook and 21-year-old Mika Nguyen, both accused of committing a series of crimes between 2021 and 2024. The pair was charged last week following an investigation which began in October of last year. It was carried out by the Surrey RCMP Special Victims Unit and the Provincial Operations Support Unit.
Most of them involve what at the time was child pornography, which is now referred to as child sexual assault material, whether it be accessing, producing, or distributing those sexual interference of a person under a certain age.
Cook is charged with 3 counts of making child pornography and 4 counts of distributing it. He's also charged with 3 counts of sexual interference of a person under 16 and 2 counts of luring a child under 18. Cook also faces 1 count each of possessing and accessing child pornography. Meanwhile, Nguyen is charged with 3 counts of making child pornography, 3 counts of sexual interference, and 2 counts of child luring.
At this time, we're releasing photos of these 2 individuals in an appeal to locate any other witnesses or potential victims.
While charges have been laid, investigators are concerned that other children may have been victimized. If you have information that can help, you're asked to call the Surrey Police non-emergency line. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Surrey.
A Fraser Valley woman has pleaded guilty to several sexual offenses, including making child pornography. Siobhan Kirby, who appeared by video conference in provincial court in Abbotsford, also admitted to sexual exploitation of a young person by someone in a position of trust and using telecommunication to facilitate sexual exploitation of a child. The offenses took place between December 2022 and November 2023. 35-year-old Kirby was arrested in Alberta earlier this year on a Canada-wide warrant. She remains in custody and returns to court in January. A man has been charged after an alleged extortion attempt at an Abbotsford business. It marks one of the rare instances during this ongoing violence where a suspect has been arrested within hours of the threat. CTV's Ben Nesbitt reports.
For the second time in just over a month, bullet holes and shattered glass line the outside of this Abbotsford business.
The business itself is living in fear, right? After the first incidents there, they're living in fear. The potential customers that either want to come there or not come there. So it impacts not only them, but the surrounding area and the community as a whole.
Back in November, nobody was caught after shooting up the King Road shop. But this time around, a different result. Police were called there at around 10:30 Wednesday night. When they arrived, they say officers were able to relay the suspect's vehicle description to other units.
As a result of that, our gang crime unit was successful in conducting a tactical high-risk stop of that vehicle.
Police say 22-year-old Gurswak Singh was arrested without incident and has now been charged with reckless discharge of a firearm. The department is releasing his photo in hopes it could assist with any other ongoing investigations.
We want the community to come forward, provide information on Mr. Singh's activities. There's likely lots of stuff out there that people know that haven't been able to bring that forward. And that information is going to help advance not only this investigation, but potentially advance other investigations as well.
Singh remains in custody and is scheduled to appear in court next week for a bail hearing. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Abbotsford.
Charges have been laid after a man was stabbed in his home on the downtown east side. Police say it happened just after midnight Thursday at a rooming house near Hastings and Columbia Streets. The 39-year-old victim was taken to hospital and a suspect was arrested. 46-year-old Torsten Ford remains in custody and has been charged with aggravated assault and assault with a weapon. Now that all the evacuation orders have been lifted in Abbotsford, cleanup efforts are underway as the community starts to turn its attention to what comes next. Avoiding future destruction is top of mind, but that may be a challenge on both sides of the border. Our Penny Daflos now on how Ottawa and Washington are factoring into next steps.
In the heart of Sumas Prairie, farmers jumped into action as the atmospheric river approached.
Getting sandbags, getting people organized.
During the catastrophic flooding of 2021, Brad Driediger lost all the chickens on the ground floor of his barn. He was better prepared last week.
This time we were able to save almost all of the birds.
But there's only so much individuals can do to protect their homes and livelihoods, especially when floodwater rushes across the border from Washington state.
The situation is still very, very unpredictable. There are levees that are extremely stressed right now.
Thursday afternoon, their governor continued his tour of flood-ravaged communities. High water swept away roads and homes, and one person has died during the state of emergency.
Frankly, we don't really even know the full scale of the impact when it comes to our infrastructure and what we're facing until we see those waters finally recede and get a chance to really evaluate what the situation is. All that underscores how critical support from the federal government will be when we seek disaster relief.
As well as future flood prevention. The governor and BC may face an uphill battle on that front. The Trump administration hasn't been friendly to blue states, and coming up with billions for mitigation funding won't be easy. Domestically, the Prime Minister hasn't gone to Abbotsford to see the damage for himself, and his minister claimed,
I think we'll find this time around we'll be able to do a much better job of getting appropriate mitigation funding to the province of BC.
In a statement, BC Emergencies Minister Kelly Green said she spoke with her federal counterpart Friday and that meetings and coordination between BC and Washington have been taking place for several years around forecasting flooding and how best to prevent it.
Ultimately, there's nothing that has changed that will prevent this from happening again tomorrow or next week.
With more winter storms on the horizon for the breadbasket of BC. Penny Daflos, CTV News, Vancouver.
An SUV caught fire in New Westminster this morning, but luckily no one was hurt. You can see a white vehicle badly damaged and blackened by flames. Police say it caught fire near 8th Street and Queens Avenue around 9:45 this morning. The investigation determined nothing criminal happened. Fortunately, no injuries were reported and none of the nearby buildings were damaged. A business in Maple Ridge is left to clean up the pieces after a massive fire broke out. The city says fire crews responded to this building on 232nd and 128th Avenue just after midnight Thursday. All 9 people inside were able to get out safely. The cause is now under investigation. More than 4 years after a devastating fire ravaged the village of Lytton, funding has been announced to rebuild the Elders Lodge.
As we help rebuild Lytton, a key component guiding our efforts is the resilience. And that's why the facility will be fire resistant and adaptive to extreme weather events.
Nearly $15 million in federal funds will go towards the Chief Spitlam Elders Lodge, which will be rebuilt in its original location. It will replace all 6 assisted living units and will add an additional 7 independent assisted elder living units. The lodge will be constructed with fire-resistant materials like metal roofing and siding. The province is working behind the scenes to support the 350 Crofton Mill, workers who will lose their jobs in the new year. Jobs Minister Ravi Kahlon updated the province's efforts to support the workers during a visit to Chemainus yesterday afternoon. He says meetings with the Premier and federal ministers have taken place to discuss ways each level of government can offer immediate and long-term support. Kahlon also commented on the Crofton Mill closure, saying there is interest in the site.
We've heard interest from various companies. We also have engaged with the company to identify what their plans are for that, and we're also looking to explore what opportunities might be available there.
The mill is expected to begin its phased shutdown on January the 4th. A Vancouver Island First Nation has bought another casino here in the Lower Mainland. The Snuneymuxw First Nation has entered into agreements to purchase Great Canadian Casino in Coquitlam. The casino has previously been branded as the Hard Rock Casino and the Boulevard Casino. Earlier this year, Snuneymuxw purchased the Nanaimo Casino, Elements Casino Victoria, the River Rock Casino, as well as Chances Casino in Maple Ridge. The acquisition will make the nation the largest casino operator in BC and Canada's largest Indigenous-owned gaming operator by revenue. Let's check outside how things are looking. This is Robson and Thurlow looking pretty busy with all those last-minute shoppers. And we'll take a look at Grouse Mountain, kind of socked in, but we know that they did get a lot more snow, and skiers, snowboarders definitely happy about that. Hard to see, it's a bit foggy, but
definitely is.
Yeah, there is snow there.
Yeah, they saw 40 centimeters in the last 48 hours, and more is on the way as we head through the weekend. So yes, very happy that it is open. A lot of skiers and snowboarders excited for that. So let's take a look at temperatures right now across the Lower Mainland. Sitting at 5 at the Harbour, 4 degrees in Burnaby as well as in North Vancouver. You're looking at a cool 3 in Surrey and sitting at 1 right now in Abbotsford. So as we head through the overnight, we will see some showers. Slight chance of seeing a thunder shower dropping down to 4. Tomorrow will be wet. Periods of rain. We will see winds gusting to about 40 kilometers an hour through the afternoon with a high of 7.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Explore the endless possibilities at one of our 36 BC locations. Learn more at expediacruises.ca.
And not completely white for Christmas, but we will see some white stuff. I've got your full forecast coming up.
Oh, you've got me intrigued. We'll stay tuned for that. Okay, thanks, Anne.
You're welcome.
Families lined the shore at CFB Esquimalt today for an emotional homecoming. A Royal Canadian Navy crew is back just in time for the holidays after a groundbreaking Arctic mission and months in the Indo-Pacific. CTV's Yvonne Raymond has more on the reunions and missions.
The suspense of an offshore homecoming is a long wait, even with the ship in view.
We're obviously exceedingly excited to receive Mommy back.
I love you.
Finally, for family, HMCS Max Bernays has docked after 4 months at sea, delivering her crew to loving arms at CFB Esquimalt.
Feels really good. It feels like I'm not going to have the bed to myself tonight.
96 members are back from the groundbreaking deployment.
Waiting for this moment for all too long.
It's going to be nice to have them home. The ship traveled farther north than any other in Royal Canadian Navy history.
I think it's important to recognize that Canada has 3 oceans, Atlantic, Pacific, and the Arctic. It is the next bastion of geopolitical importance, strategic importance, and so we need to be there.
It is incredible. It is barren. It is breathtaking. It is ice as far as the eye can see, and I would say that the Arctic is something that we definitely need to protect.
The team was in the Indo-Pacific for Operation Horizon 2.
Up along the coast of, especially off of Oregon, we had some more intense sea states, so it definitely feels a lot more stable now, and there's nothing quite like feeling Canadian ground under your feet.
The focus shifts here, with all eyes on family.
It's amazing how they're so much bigger, but still super tiny.
Reunited for the holidays. Yvonne Raymond, CTV News, CFB Esquimalt.
Skiers and snowboarders are celebrating the arrival of snow in the local mountains. We'll check out Grouse, which just opened today. Also ahead, plenty of challenges if you're driving to the interior. Major damage on Highway 3 will take weeks to fix. And we'll check out the snow-covered Coquihalla when CTV News at 6 continues. Stay with us. It's welcome news for avid winter adventurers. North Shore mountains are finally starting to open after a big dump of snow. It comes after the local hills have struggled with a lack of powder and a late start to the season. CTV's Yasmin Gandam has more from opening day at Grouse.
Excitement is in the air at Grouse Mountain with the ski and board season finally underway.
Even though it's just a couple little runs right now, it's still very exciting, just getting us ready for the rest of the season.
Finally, it snowed enough and we can start the season on Grouse Mountain.
We all expected, I think, that it will open beginning of December. But now is finally the day.
Friday's opening is about a month after skiers would usually be welcome due to a lack of snow. Just 2 days ago, the mountain had none.
We had some snow in early November, but the last week has brought about 40 centimeters, and we've been running our guns nonstop, which has allowed the team to work really hard and get us open today.
Warmer than average temperatures have led to the late start to the season for local hills, but the snow forecast is looking promising. Still, terrain access is limited as skiers itch to hit the slopes.
We do have a discounted lift ticket rate due to the limited terrain.
Visitors are encouraged to check real-time conditions before heading up. Cypress Mountain will open Saturday, but it's safe to say it's a day skiers and boarders have been much anticipating, and the energy is at an all-time high.
I wish it started sooner. It's always nice to get up as soon as possible. We anticipate it all year long, but just whenever we can get up, we go. So it's lovely to get out.
Another dump of snow is expected overnight, so these eager skiers and boarders could get more terrain access just in time for Christmas. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, North Vancouver.
Ski season is also getting underway on Vancouver Island, with the island's 2 resorts kick-starting operations. Staff at Mount Washington say limited runs are open, including its beginner zone and Nordic terrain. Cross-country routes are also opening in the Alpine. Meantime, Mount Cain says they will fully open this Sunday. Conditions have gone from gravel to almost a meter of snow this week, with more in the forecast. And a winter warning tonight if your holiday travel plans involve hitting the highway. Lauren Pullen is following this in the Breaking News Center. Lauren, it's shaping up to be a dicey weekend on the mountain passes, with some major routes still completely closed.
And Mi-Jung, if you have to drive to the interior, safe to say you will want to pack your patience. Nearly whiteout conditions on the Coquihalla already today, and it's not forecast to let up anytime soon. A snowfall warning is in place between Hope and Merritt, with anywhere between 20 to 45 centimeters forecast to fall today and tomorrow. Environment Canada saying that road closures are possible. Meantime, Highway 3 between Hope and Manning Park is still shut down due to washouts. Crews there are working to clear debris, repair the roads, and stabilize nearby slopes. But at this point, there's still no estimate on when it will reopen, when it's safe to reopen, rather, but it is expected to take several weeks still. Mijung.
All right, thanks for this, Lauren. With the ski season underway and holiday travel picking up, BC Highway Patrol is warning drivers to plan ahead and slow down, especially on interior highways where conditions can change quickly.
Speed limits are for ideal conditions, so when we're dealing with this nasty weather, you have to really slow down. Well below the speed limit in many cases. And that's probably contributing to why we're getting so many crashes.
He says drivers also need to plan ahead and give themselves extra time to travel in challenging conditions, as well as extra space between vehicles. Winter tires are now mandatory on BC highways until the spring. A Toronto man is facing multiple terrorism charges, accused of targeting women and members of the Jewish community. And the U.S. Justice Department has released thousands of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, including photos of Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, and Mick Jagger. Next on CTV News at 6. A man who has maintained his innocence is being convicted of quadruple murder over 30 years ago has been released from prison. Daniel Jolivet has been locked up in a Quebec prison since being convicted in 1994, but today a judge agreed to release him on bail. Jolivet's lawyer told the court about new evidence that raises concerns about the reliability of the guilty verdict and the fairness of the trial. That trial hinged largely on the testimony of an informant. A Toronto man is facing a number of terrorism-related charges linked to ISIS. He and two other men are also facing numerous charges related to hate crimes, allegedly targeting women and members of the Jewish community. CTV's Jeremy Sharon has the details.
The RCMP and Toronto Police announced these charges today, from kidnappings to hostage takings and terrorism charges linked to the Islamic State. 27-year-old Toronto resident Waleed Khan was taken into custody by the RCMP on November 26th. Khan is facing 7 terrorism-related offenses in connection with an RCMP investigation, including allegations that he conspired to commit murder for the benefit of, at the direction of, or in association with a terrorist group. He's also one of 3 people charged in connection with a Toronto police investigation dubbed Project Neapolitan, launched last spring after 2 violent incidents in the GTA. Khan, along with 18-year-old Osman Azizov and 19-year-old Fahad Sadat, are facing in that investigation a combined 79 charges, including kidnapping, attempted kidnapping with firearms, conspiracy to commit sexual assault, and hostage takings. Police say some of the offenses were informed in part by hate-motivated extremism and targeted women and members of the Jewish community.
It's an absolute matter of urgency for our governments at all levels to work with law enforcement to take the steps necessary today to prevent not just the crimes that were announced earlier this morning, but to get at the root cause of this heinous violence.
Meanwhile, earlier this week, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service said it sees no indication of a specific threat in Canada following a mass shooting at a Hanukkah celebration in Australia. But CSIS did warn of the realistic possibility of an extremist attack on the Jewish community here in Canada. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
Stateside investigators are searching for a motive after a former Brown University student allegedly went on a shooting rampage at the Ivy League school and later gunned down a college professor near Boston.
I don't think we have any idea why now or why Brown, why these students, why this classroom.
Police say the 48-year-old suspect was found dead Thursday night in New Hampshire from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators believe he killed 2 students and wounded 9 others at Brown on Saturday before killing MIT professor Nuno Loureiro on Monday. The alleged gunman attended Brown 25 years ago. He also attended the same program as Loureiro at a university in Portugal in the 1990s. Canada's Border Security Agency has revealed that hundreds of employees were involved in cases of misconduct and wrongdoing. The report reveals that between April 2024 and March 2025, 364 investigations were launched, with misconduct found in more than 70% of cases. The cases ranged from professional misconduct to association with criminals and sexual harassment. The CBSA says several disciplinary actions were taken, including counseling and temporary suspensions. The U.S. Justice Department has begun releasing thousands of records tied to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking investigation, with more expected in the coming weeks. The release includes photographs, call logs, grand jury testimony, and documents. Among the photos, former President Bill Clinton in a hot tub, the late Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, and rocker Mick Jagger with Epstein's girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell. President Donald Trump's name appears in a contact book, but it's not clear whose book it is. The Justice Department discovered more than 1,200 victims and their families in a review of the documents. Unveiling the West End's newest plaza, built at a cost of $10 million. And
it is the most important global resource for understanding climate in the atmosphere.
But the Trump administration is shutting down this research facility in Colorado. What this will mean for understanding the impact of climate on Canada. That's ahead. Our ability to understand the weather impacting Canada is about to take a big hit, and it's thanks to the shutdown of a research facility across the border. CTV's Andrew Johnson explains why climate scientists are sounding the alarm.
When it comes to studying climate change or predicting fires and floods, Canadian scientists say research coming out of this giant lab in Colorado is the best in the world.
It is number one, without doubt. It is the most important global resource for understanding climate in the atmosphere.
That's why Canadian experts are calling a new move from the Trump administration devastating and destructive. A top Trump official says the National Center for Atmospheric Research, or NCAR, will be dismantled, accusing it of being one of the country's largest sources of climate alarmism.
The loss of NCAR would be quite devastating for not only the scientific community, but really the everyday person.
We're going to be less able to deal with some of the changes we see in climate going down the road into the future.
More than 800 people work at NCAR, and experts believe the closure could also create an opportunity for Canada when U.S. climate scientists look for work elsewhere.
Maybe Canada will welcome some of them, and many of them will end up in Europe.
If there's anything, to be said about unfortunately, the lack of climate leadership from the U.S., it's that perhaps it's time for also Canada to step up in this regard.
She points to the newly announced $1.7 billion in federal funding to attract global talent as a step in the right direction, turning America's loss into Canada's gain. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Residents and visitors to Vancouver's West End now have a new place to relax. The Butte Robson Plaza, which started as a temporary public space in 2017, has now been made permanent. The upgrades include terraces with built-in seating, new landscaping, and a separated bike path. The price tag, $10 million. The design also includes a lot of flexible space for community events. Butte Street is now permanently closed to traffic between Harrow Street and Ehu Lane. A happy update to share now on a baby beaver rescued on Vancouver Island. Timber is now just over 13 pounds and is exceeding all her rehabilitation goals. She's even starting to move large branches around to her little beaver dam, perfecting her home for winter. Wow. Timber was rescued by family from the Cowichan River this past summer and taken to the North Island Wildlife Recovery Center with daily supervised swims. The volunteer crew says her rehabilitation is well on track.
Aww.
So they have such a strong instinct for like gathering logs and building dams. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, there are some rescue beavers that would just take towels and block doorways just to build their own dam indoors. But yeah, Timber, she's going to be released pretty soon, I bet. All right, let's take a look at our forecast. Today, mostly cloudy skies. We are seeing some sprinkles here and there right now. Pretty much seasonal temperatures at 6.7 degrees, overnight lows at 2.2. And so far, as we head into the last couple of weeks of December, 142.8 millimeters of rain with the seasonal average. We're pretty close to it, 155.8 millimeters. So we are seeing some light showers right now, but for the interior, if you're headed on the Coquihalla Highway, we do have a snowfall warning for you. Today, 20 to 30 centimeters of snow expected. Tomorrow, an additional 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. So make sure you give yourself extra time. Drive with caution because a lot of people are traveling for the holidays right now. As we head through the overnight, we will see periods of rain continuing into tomorrow morning. In pink, that is that rain-snow mix. North Shore Mountains, obviously, seeing some snow through those times. And then we will see periods of rain throughout the afternoon and evening hours, slowly drying up. For the Central Coast, you're looking at 5 to 10 centimeters of snow tomorrow. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Early morning flurries transitioning over to showers for Port Hardy with a high of 5 degrees. That's what you can expect for Campbell River and Comox, but it does clear up through the afternoon. Temperatures just around the 8-degree mark as we head to the South Island. Showers and a chance of afternoon thunder showers for Tofino at 6. Rain snow mix for Port Alberni at 5. Showers from Nanaimo right down to Victoria. Temperatures between 7 and 9 degrees. Cloudy with showers for the Sunshine Coast, 6 degrees. You'll see that rain snow mix for Squamish at 5. Light snow for Whistler. You'll see a high of 0. And for us across the Lower Mainland, early morning wet snow at higher elevations. Periods of rain through the day with temperatures between 6 and 8 degrees. Heading into Sunday, we say hello to winter at 7:03 in the morning with periods of rain staying wet for Monday, Tuesday. It starts off with rain, drying up through the afternoon, sunny breaks and 7 degrees for Christmas Eve. Rain snow mix, higher elevations, we'll see that especially. And then it'll transition over to showers, a cool 4. Christmas Day right now is looking cloudy with a high of 5 degrees. And then on Boxing Day, we'll start off with that messy mix once again. It does clear up through the afternoon with a high of 5. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So overnight lows hovering just around that freezing mark. So whatever falls as rain here will definitely fall as snow for our local mountains.
Good for them because they're all opening this weekend.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, so you said we will see something white on Christmas.
Well, a mix and cloudy skies, but
So
yeah, that
the-
rain snow mix definitely, but it's not going to be a whiteout at all.
And clouds are white too.
Exactly.
Oh, sneaky Ann, you got us.
I gotcha.
All right, thanks, Ann. This flu season is shaping up to be one of the worst in years. Also coming up,
I get goosebumps when I tell you that, man.
Burnaby's own Michael Bublé lends a helping hand at the Greater Vancouver Food Bank. That's ahead. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents. It should be on the other side of the dot, of course. Oil was up 52 cents, closing the day at $56.52. Gold gained nearly $23 on the day. The TSX up 314 points, while the Dow Jones was also up 183 points. WildBrain, the Canadian entertainment brand with a major animation hub in Vancouver, is cashing in on one of the world's most beloved brands. WildBrain is selling its 41% stake in Peanuts Holdings, home to Charlie Brown and Snoopy, to Sony for $630 million. The company says the deal will wipe out senior debt and help grow other franchises like Strawberry Shortcake and Teletubbies. WildBrain will stay on as a multi-year partner. It first bought Peanuts in 2017 and sold a 39% stake to Sony the next year. The Schultz family still owns 20%. You've likely noticed it in your workplace or your child's school. This flu season has arrived early, and experts say it's already shaping up to be the worst flu season in years. But there are steps you can take to stay protected. CTV's Scott Hurst reports.
Flu season is starting early and is shaping up to be a particularly bad one, according to health experts. And some emergency departments are already indicating they're feeling the impact. Flu cases are up nationally, with surveillance data putting the rate of positive tests above 20% compared to 13% just the week before. All three maritime provinces are reporting a rise in flu numbers. Hospitals in Ontario are reporting a spike in visits as well, up more than 80%, with a significant increase in flu patients. This has medical experts sounding the alarm about the number of people, particularly children, getting the flu vaccine.
There's a lot of people saying that the vaccine is not a good match for the strains that are circulating this year. That is not strictly speaking true. It is a good match for the H1N1 strain. It's not a particularly good match for the H3N2 strain. So it is giving you, some, and I would say good protection, but not perfect protection, but worth repeating the old adage that things don't have to be perfect in order to be useful.
Health providers are asking parents to the best of their ability to treat kids with mild flu symptoms at home and avoid large gatherings if possible, as influenza cases spike ahead of the busy holiday season. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
There is a lot of technology in these pants. Montreal-based Azimut Medical has developed pants equipped with airbags. It's a safety feature meant to prevent injury during a fall. It can tell when someone's actually falling as opposed to, say, plopping down on a bed or a couch. The company says its software is what sets these pants apart. It's a beautiful day for giving back. Burnaby's own Michael Bublé swapped out the stage for volunteer work supporting local seniors. Plus, priceless picture. Adam finds out the story behind a proposal unexpectedly caught on camera. Coming up on the Sawatsky sign-off. One of Kobe Bryant's most famous pairs of sneakers is heading to auction. The Nike Grinch sneakers were worn by Bryant just once on Christmas Day in 2010. Each of the shoes is signed by Bryant, making them one of a kind.
So these Kobe 6 Grinch sneakers came about on December 25th, 2010. Kobe Bryant came on Christmas Day on the court wearing a pair of green sneakers, which for the first time in NBA history didn't match his uniform. So these sneakers have not been seen since that game.
It's expected they will sell for more than $10 million. A giant gingerbread house inspired by Home Alone has opened in Los Angeles. Disney is behind this with the goal to break the 2013 Guinness World Record for largest gingerbread house. It's made from 2,600 kilos of flour, 4,200 eggs, and 4,400 gingerbread brick tiles. It's being held together with 20 gallons of edible glue. More than 100 performers came together to surprise holiday shoppers at Metrotown last week. The local singers and dancers broke out their Santa hats to perform the Mariah Carey classic, All I Want for Christmas Is You, in the middle of the mall. The performance also featured Marie Huey, who is known for singing the national anthem at Whitecaps and Canucks games. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Flash mobs used to be more of a thing, didn't they, right?
We need more flash mobs, I say.
It's a tough song to match, too,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, they did a great job. Okay, it's time for Friday Feelgoods, a weekly roundup of unique events happening in Metro Vancouver. Here are 3 things worth checking out. The Vancouver Symphony Orchestra will bring the Christmas cheer by playing loud for all to hear. Join the VSO as it performs the music from the holiday favorite Elf while the movie plays out on the big screen. Tickets are available for 2 shows on Friday and Saturday. One of my favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah, that would be a great one to see there.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, head to Good Company Granville this Saturday afternoon for a special breakfast with Santa. Enjoy a free Santa and Mrs. Claus photo booth where you and your family can capture a holiday moment while enjoying a delicious pop-up brunch menu. Breakfast with Santa is family-friendly and free to attend with table reservations available online. How fun is that?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what the weather is like, right? Because this December, it's been hard to check out lights with all the rain, right?
Sure has. And of course, you can grab your bestie and you can head down to the Little Mountain Gallery Saturday for a comfy night of laughs at the Pillow Talk Comedy Club. It'll be a night of gossip, tarot readings, and jokes from some of the best local stand-up comedians. There will be prizes, PJs, and punchlines at Vancouver's only slumber party-themed comedy show. It's one you can get behind.
I
in
like
the jams.
that, yeah.
Being comfortable and getting some laughs.
We should have jammings times all the time.
No, it sounds like fun too. Okay, well, if you've got any events you'd like us to highlight, email your tips to CTV Feelgoods at ctv.ca. Do you guys like Michael Bublé? Have you met him?
Yes. I haven't, but Burnaby
he's very personable.
So lovely.
The Greater Vancouver Food Bank is feeling good after getting some support from a local celebrity.
I feel very lucky that I could come and use my platform and to be able to share what a wonderful place this is.
Michael Bublé stopped by the East Vancouver warehouse yesterday to lend a helping hand. It was all in support of the Food Bank's Seniors Program, which helps distribute essential food packs to local seniors. Bublé describes his visit as very emotional, and while it was his first, he insists it won't be his last. Yeah, he's a very kind person and very funny, too. Yeah. Okay, Lauren, what's coming up tonight?
Mijang, as we get ready for the holiday season, if highway travel is on your to-do list, we will be continuing to track that snowstorm already hitting the Coquihalla hard. We'll have more on the warnings and what you need to know before hitting the road, as that snowfall is forecast to continue over the weekend. That and more ahead at 11:30.
Yeah, I would not want to be on the Coquihalla.
No, it's not a fun place to be.
All right, thanks, Lauren. Well, he got down on one knee and she said yes, not knowing it was all being caught on camera. A photographer snapped the stranger's special moment, not knowing how to share it with them. Adam explains how she ended up finding the couple thousands of kilometers away in tonight's Sawatsky sign-off.
By the time they arrived on the beach in Tofino, Tom Fast had been dating Sarah Moroziak for more than a decade, and he was feeling nervous.
I had to make sure that she didn't find the ring in my bag.
While Sarah didn't know Tom's secret, she did feel he was acting a little odd.
Tom was like, let's go touch the water, and I was like, I've touched the water before, I'm okay.
But before she could give it a second thought, he got down on one knee.
There was a few of, oh my gosh, are you serious? This is crazy.
Well, Tom waited for an answer. Off in the distance, Janice Nesbitt just happened to spot the proposal.
Sort of seemed to bring an extra level of magic to the place.
So she took a couple photos, but was too far away to let them know or hear Sarah's answer.
And Tom had to prompt being like, wait, is there an answer? And I was like, oh, yes, for sure.
More than a month later, after the amateur photographer and her husband returned home to Calgary, Janice edited the photos and tried to find the couple by posting the pictures on social media.
I really thought it was a long shot, no pun intended there. I just thought if it were me, I would absolutely have loved to have that shot.
Well, thousands of people praised Janice's talent and kindness and helped her connect with the couple by sharing them from coast to coast before Sarah finally saw them back home in Toronto.
I was like, oh, wait, that's us. That's crazy.
Sarah and Tom say they couldn't be more grateful for Janice's effort and the so many other strangers who supported her.
On top of that, they're really great photos.
Photos, yeah, the photos are stunning.
They're going to be nice to have.
Now the couple keeps the pictures framed in their home, plans on using them on their wedding invitations, and may even return to Vancouver Island for their honeymoon.
Why would we not circle back and go to Tofino and do it all over again?
But first, Sarah and Tom have a wedding to plan.
I know. I'm like, I wonder if she does weddings.
Another proposal that Janice also answers with yes.
Absolutely. I'd love to do that. I could make it happen.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
Great photos, wonderful
awesome.
composition.
Yeah.
These days, a lot of times people bring a photographer to the engagement. This is nice. It was just spontaneous.
All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. Vancouver's all lit up for the holidays, literally. Thanks, David, for sending this one in. And you can send us your photo as well. Scenic snapshot at ctv.ca.
Beautiful. And the Ferris wheel there and everything. Okay, thanks for joining us. Lauren's back at 11:30. Good night.
Good night.